Hey guys, Maximilian with Customs. Right here I got this Mk5 Supra right behind me. We're doing a full teardown, so we can do a full wrap. It's going that pink from a Nostec right there. It'll look pretty sweet. I'm gonna put some finished photos at the end here for you guys. But without further ado, I'll put some timestamps right here so you can go ahead and skip around. I don't want to waste your guys' time, obviously. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and take the spoiler off. As you can already see, I have it off, and then we'll get on to everything else. All right, so I got the spoiler off. I'll show you the bolts, the sizing, and I'll show you where they go. So you're gonna have 4 of these. These were 3/18, but you could probably go a little bit bigger. Regardless, they didn't strip. You don't have to worry about that. But I used a 3/18 little hex head, and then for the actual part holding the spoiler pieces on, these were 5/32. These ones are pretty rusted, and they're really sketchy in the terms of almost stripping them. It was definitely the best size of bit to use, but I think it's just so old, so I'll replace those bolts when I put it back together. I don't know if this was from factory installed, but yeah, so you can see this is kind of how it looks on. So 4 on each side. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and those were the bolts right there. And then the other bolts, the silver longer ones, went on the inside like this, or if that makes sense. So when it's outside, you can actually take these off without having to remove anything. But you'll have these 2 little plastic panels on each side, and those are just little Phillips screws. So like I said, I don't know if this spoiler is stock because the installation was a little janky. You can see whoever installed it just kind of drilled through the plastic. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I assume for factory that's not what it looks like. But regardless, I'm pretty sure this is kind of the average. The factory ones, the bolts may be different. But yeah, the only other thing holding it on was the double-sided tape, which just removed very easily. This bolt is kind of stuck in there right now because the way it is aligned, it's like stuck in there. But yeah, like I said, whoever installed that kind of did it weird. But that's how you take out the spoiler. And then now I'll probably move on to the taillights.
All right, so to remove the taillights, you also have to remove the bumper. This is also going to give you access to anything else you need to do back here. But the tools I recommend are, you're going to need an 8mm. I like it on a drill. Flashlight's always useful. T20, a little tab tool, recommended, not needed. And then I do highly recommend 3 flatheads, fairly small ones. I'll show you where those go. But so to begin with, you're going to have these bolts. There's actually not a lot. So these 2 T20s that look like this, silver ones, will go on top, 1, 2, and those are hidden behind plastic panels. You can literally just put your hand right here and pop them. I just have them right back there. I'm not going to pull them out because there's no reason to. And then next, you're going to have 4 8mm that look like this, right on the bottom. If you go down here, you can see I already took them out. 1 right here, and then 2, 1, 2, and then mirror on the other side. So 4 total, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Take those out. Those are all the same, and then you're gonna also have an 8mm in the fender liner, which I'll show you, but just so you know, it is the exact same 8mm as the ones on the bottom. Those will go right here. Inside the wheel well, you'll have 3 8mm. I actually don't know what those look like, but I know they're 8mm stock, except this guy has little skirt thingy, whatever you want to call these, fender or mud flap type things, and they aftermarket used Phillips screws. So you will probably have 8mm, 1, 2, 3 right here, which you can see right there. Take those out and you'll be able to pull the fender liner back. Once you pull that back, you can see right up in here. I got my flashlight. The flashlight on my phone is broken, so be stuck to this for the rest of the video. But right in here, you can see it's this area right there. It's kind of hard to get on camera, but you'll have the 8mm going upwards right there. Take that 8mm out, and that's the only thing holding on this side besides these 3 tabs on the bottom, which are where the 3 flatheads come in. I'm running out of breath, I'm running around. But you can kind of see I have them wedged in between the tabs, so 1, 2, 3, kind of like acupuncture or something. Those are nice because you can pull it and kind of move those back and forth to release those 3 tabs because they are kind of tight. But once you get rid of those 3 tabs, you'll be able to come over, and obviously I'm going back and forth, but it's the same procedure on each side. You'll pop it and slowly release these. I've heard these are super tight. These ones weren't too bad. I think someone has removed this before. Or I believe so actually, because I don't think these come stock either. But these ones came off pretty easily. Again, the bottom will release, and then around the side, these taillight ones were pretty tight, so I think whoever took the bumper off only took it off that far. But these ones were very tight. That's where, like a pry tool, a plastic one, or I like this one as long as you're careful because it's metal, you can pop the tabs. I actually didn't have to use that, but it is recommended if it is getting like super tight. Go ahead and pop those, and you should be basically done. You will have a wiring harness, which I'll show you, but let me get this off. Okay, so final notes for the rear bumper. Careful not to pull from here because I forgot to mention, obviously this is a weak point since it's a split area on the bumper. So as always with bumpers, don't pull and then just continue trying to pop all the tabs. You want to work your way with it. So just before you guys do that, I don't want anyone splitting their bumper next. I should have mentioned that. But once you work each side, the top will be the last part. I recommend disconnecting these tabs very last so you have the middle point anchored. But you can see right here some of the tabs. So basically I just kind of wedge my fingers in between the seam of the rubber, you'll see, and kind of just pop it, and those pins or tabs go directly backwards, so just pull them back to you and then the bumper will be released. This is useful having two people right here. In my case, I'm just using a chair to hold it up, so you don't really need to in this case, but right here you'll have a camera that goes right here, and then two license plate harnesses, 1, 2, so 3 right in the middle total. The camera, 2 license plates. Your main harness for the sensors will be right here, plugged in. You can see right there, that plugs in right there. Just pop each top and bottom tab, pull out, and then lastly, you'll want to do this one last, obviously, so you can kind of get underneath here, but you'll have this one for the third brake light down here. So that red piece, you basically just pop outwards. If you've ever done harness, I don't know if I'll be able to get this on camera right now, but you'll pop it out and then pull the harness out. It's not too difficult, obviously. And then that's it for the rear bumper. I'll show you how to take the taillights out. Okay, last side note for the rear bumper, right here, the third brake light harness, the lock will be fully flush right down there, so you basically just wedge the flathead, pop that lock, and then that top black piece right there where my finger is, you'll push that in, and that'll release it. But yeah, let's go with the taillights.
All right, so to start off with the taillights, you're gonna wanna go and remove this plastic panel. You're gonna have this top trim piece that you can pop out with a pry tool, just pop it upwards. Once you remove that, you will have 2 T30s right behind this little panel. You just twist these and then it'll pop open. The 2 T30s will be right here. 1, 2, right behind this slack. And those look like this. There's a little washer on them. And then lastly, you'll have 2 little tabs that are right in here. Pretty simple, pop those 2. Once you have all that, what I did is wedge a pry tool kind of on each side and do one at a time, like 1/2 at a time. It slides upwards, not outwards. So with one pry tool, one hand holding it, the other hand I had right here, and just pop it upwards, and then that half, and this half, and then you can kind of just push that forward, and then take this out. Okay, so you'll want to pop the carpet out on each side. To do that, begin with up here. You'll take a plastic pry tool, this is what you'll be using most of the time on the back. Pop it, and you'll be able to pop it all the way to those 3 tabs. That's what I recommend. Get it out of the way with 2 hands, one holding the thing out of the way, the other one taking this T25 out. It's located right in there, and it looks like this. It's a black T25. Each side, do that. Once you do that, you'll be able to pop this tab by pushing in between the plastic and the carpet. As you can see, it's right there. Kind of pull this out of the way as much as possible. And even if you pull up, it'll help release the carpet a little bit. This side you can see a little better, but just make sure when you put it back in, you kind of wedge the carpet in between. There's little like clips right back here. You can kind of see, you just got to sandwich it in between. But if you pull it up, you'll get some better access for now. Now you can push the carpet out of the way. And I can't really show you back in here too well, but you can see you got plenty of access for everything. So you'll just kind of correlate from this side, look at each edge. You'll be able to tell there's 3 nuts. So there'll be 1, 2, and then a third one right back in here. You'll just have to kind of go back and forth and look at where they should be. Obviously with a flashlight would be the best, but each nut looks like that. And once you take all 3 out, the taillight will be loose, and then you'll have 1 wiring harness right here, and I'll show you once I get to that point. Okay, so I got all 3 out. You can see this one in the middle was a little off. I thought it was right here, but it's actually a little lower right here. And you can see 1, and then 2, the third one right down there. So it's not right there, it's right there. Then you'll just have the wiring harness with the low lock like that. And then you'll just have the wiring harness clip, which is just holding onto the taillight. You just disconnect with like a flathead, whatever you want. I use this, I think it's the best. It's a little tab pop tool. So yeah, take that off, and then that's how you take the taillights out.
All right, let's go ahead and start out with the front bumper removal. To do the headlights, you also need to take the bumper off. To do so, you don't need the wheels off. Again, you can just turn the wheels to access the fender liners. I recommend starting from the bottom and the sides, then doing the top last so you can pull it off and it's still anchored up top. Anyway, so on the bottom, you're gonna have 10 8mm. You can see basically wherever the bolt is on the paint, you'll take out. So there's 10 across. This has, I believe, an aftermarket splitter, so you can see right there are 2 little self tappers. I don't think you'll have those. You may have like another bolt, maybe they're replaced, but just anything that's touching the painted and anything connected to the fender liner, just disconnect it. In this case, 10 8mm, and I have 2 little self tappers on each side. So I'll be removing those, and then next you can turn your wheel and have access to these 3 8mm. 1, 2, 3. So 3 along the fender liner. I need to see what bolt is right here, but I know for a fact there are 2 8mm on top. I need to double check there's not one going through the front, or the bottom rather. But yeah, take these 2 out and then remove the fender liner. Alright, so just to confirm, you'll have the 2 8mm on top and there's nothing on bottom. So once you remove these 2 and then take the fender liner off, this side is basically done besides one bolt I didn't show you, which is right down here, and it is an 8mm. Oops, right there. So these were the 2 little self tappers for me were, and then you'll have one 8mm right there. And then that side will be disconnected. Disconnect your tow hook if you do have one, just so you can slide through. And then on top, you will have 6 10mm. You'll have 1 on each side, kind of hidden behind this rubber right there. And then you'll have this top rubber, which you can always pull right off. And then you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course the other one right there. So 6 total 10mm that look like this. And then all the 8mm look the same, and they look like that. In my case, and like I said, I don't think they're stock, but that's what the self tapper looks like, if you need to know. So yeah, you'll be able to pull this forward. As you can see, these little clips will be wedged in like that, so you can slide it forward and then slowly work each side, pull it off. It's good to have 2 people because there will be a wiring harness, and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright guys, disconnected. So yeah, basically just go on the bottom of each corner and pull it forward slowly, and then it will unlatch itself. Right over here, you'll have a wiring harness on this side, and you just unlatch it by doing the top and bottom, pulling out, and then the actual wiring harness little pin will be connected to the body right here. So you can just get a little pry tool and pop that off. So now it's disconnected. As well as that, you'll have the exact same thing over here on this side with another wiring harness, same procedure, same clip. And yeah, that's how you take the front bumper off. So now we'll get onto the headlights.
Alright, so to remove the headlights, it's a little bit of a process. Not too difficult, but a lot more bolts than I was expecting. Usually you can just pull some liner back and it'd be like that. But start out with the top. You're going to have 2, 1 on each side of these little, I don't even know what to call these, like wing nuts or something. Right here, you just take a flathead and turn them left, and they'll pull out. There'll be 1 on each side right here. Next, you will have a bunch of these little tab tools. I think probably 7 on each side. Let me see. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think 5. And then this top one right here, top one right here is just going to be a standard, normal tab, little push tab like that. So it looks like 5, I think maybe 6, but you'll be able to feel the tension up top. Then that'll give you a lot of access to pull this out of the way. Once you have that able to be pulled, you can see there are 2 T30s up top, 1 and then 2 right back here. Remove those T30s that look like this. They're silver. Once you remove those 2, the top will be disconnected. Now you need to go through the fender liner. This is where it's kind of annoying. Not in the sense that it's hard, but if you have your wheels on, this could be kind of a pain. But you'll basically be able to take all these 8mm out. Obviously, you already have these 3. It's not focusing. From the bumper, but then you'll have some more. So let me see. You'll have 1. You'll have looks like 2. This is really a pain to show, but basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll have 9 up top. So I would say 9 to 10 8mm in the fender liner. Like I said, you'll feel the tension. I left this one right here. It's not an 8mm, it's actually Phillips right there. Just to actually kind of keep the fender liner on rather than fully pulling it out. Doesn't really matter either way, you got a lot of access. But when you pull that back, you'll be able to have access to these 2 T20s, or 2 T30s rather. They're the exact same bolt as the ones on the top. That look like this. I guess these ones actually have a little bit larger of a washer. My freaking camera's not focusing. But a little bit larger washer on the bottom ones. You can see when you look through here, there's one kind of hidden right in there, and then this other one is a little more accessible right there. So take those 2 T30s out. Lastly, you'll want to disconnect the wiring harness before you actually take the headlight out, because there's not a lot of wiggle room. So on the inside, you can get your hand, and you can see, I'll show it from this side, there's a lock. So again, you just, this camera is not wanting to focus. just pop that lock backwards, that little black tab right there, just push it down and pull it out, and then the headlight will be disconnected. You just have to pull it kind of straight forward. In my case, my T30s didn't come out until I started taking the headlight forward, just because there's not a lot of clearance to get them removed. Like that one looks like it's actually kind of gonna stay in there because the washer's so big. So you can literally just leave these in when you put the headlight on, slide it onto the thread, and just make sure you're obviously not cross-threading it, but you'll be able to tighten the headlight on. This one I'll actually just remove to make it a little easier, but this one specifically doesn't have a lot of clearance to remove. So just a little side note, that's how you take out the headlight. Like I said, you need the bumper off, so it's a little bit of a process. It's not hard. You're just gonna have to sit in here and take a couple bolts out, but yeah. Okay, so now that we have the rear bumper off, we can do the diffuser and the third brake light. Both of them are really simple. Start off with the brake light because it's super quick. There's 4 8mm that look like this, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop those out. You don't necessarily need to take that off, I believe, for the diffuser, but it does kind of give you some more access to kind of pop tabs and whatnot. But with the diffuser, I started on one end. You'll have tabs right here. As you can see, I already have those popped, but you want some extra screwdrivers because you'll be able to pop them right in between each tab and just kind of let them hold themselves. So you want to have those two inserted, wait, and then come down to this one, which this is the first one right there. As you can see, the tab. And then with another third screwdriver, which I don't have right here, but just pop that tab and it'll kind of push it down, like backwards if it was on the car, completely straight back. In this case, fully down because I have it flipped. But you'll have those two popped, that one, and then that'll start slowly popping them out. It's just these ones are kind of hard to access while doing that, so that's why you have the screwdrivers hold those tabs while you do that. And then after that, you can literally take these out and just go one by one, pop, pop, pop. There's just tabs all the way across, as you can see, all the way around. There's no tabs right here, but there are plastic little push pins, so remove those. 2 on the bottom, and then same exact mirrored design on this side, and that's literally how you take off the rear diffuser. You do have some tabs just across the top, but basically just look at the painted section. So in this case it's white, and you can kind of just tell what part needs to be separated from what. So it goes like that. But that's the rear diffuser. You will have to disconnect some of the wiring harness temporarily. So in this case, just disconnect wires, little tabs that are holding them. So like right here, you take a little tab tool and pop that little Christmas tree tab out. And then if you want, you can take off, either disconnect this or just remove the sensor by popping this and this at the same time outwards. And I already have them popped, but I'll let you remove the sensor. And yeah, that's how you do the diffuser. All right, so we're gonna take off the grill and the front lip. It's the same process as the rear bumper, little inserts and all that. So you're just gonna have a bunch of clips. I would start out with doing the grills right here. You do have to take the grills off to take the front splitter off, or the front lip, just to get access to the lower clips down here. You don't have to take this off if you don't want to. In my case, I'm not gonna take it off because there's no reason to. Plus, it kind of helps support the bumper on that curve right there, just more support. So with these, you're just gonna have a bunch of these style of clips, like I said, similar to the rear bumper, where you'll just pop the screwdriver in between like that and just work your way around. It's nice to have 2 to 3 screwdrivers, like I said, so you can kind of pop and hold them while you pop the other ones, and just kind of work your way around. This little insert, if you care, is right here, like that, and there's 4 of those clips that look like that. So go ahead and pop that, and then it'll slide out from the front. Then once you get these off, you do have a little wiring harness that is just kind of routed like this. So it's super easy. You literally just take it off, and then you'll be able to take the grills out. Once the grills are out, you can see right there it covers, but when they're out, you'll have access to these bottom clips down here for the splitter, or the lip, whatever. So you'll go and work these clips. You can see, similar to the rear bumper, you'll kind of have to pull it forward out. So I'm gonna try to pop as much clips as I can, but I'm probably not gonna be able to do it with it facing down, since obviously the weight is on it. I'll need to do it either facing up or take it off and just have it sitting like normal, like on a table or something. But then I'll be able to kind of push the lip forward as if it was on the car. You'd pull it straight forward. In this case, the weight's facing, it would be down, but like I said, the weight's kind of pushing the clips on. So pop the side ones. This one you don't really have to take off, like I said, but you can get some access. There's a hole right here, right underneath this clip, where you can pop that clip. The other one you can just kind of pop down, and then just work your way around. There's one right here is the next one, right there, and that one again, you have a little access to with a screwdriver, pop that. This one is connected, but that doesn't clip anywhere. That originally was clipped to the grill, but we have that out already. This one, and then you just kind of follow it all the way around. On the bottom, my case, the guy had a carbon front splitter piece like that. So there was holes, but I don't know what they originally were. In my case, they were T25s, but you'll probably have some screws down here. Go ahead and take those out. And then, yeah, that's how you take the front splitter off. So it's pretty simple. They are tight clips that I've noticed. So just kind of take your time, don't break any, and just slowly work one by one, and then it'll come out. Yeah. All right, so you don't need to take the door panel off. For this, Leo is gonna show you because he took it apart, just so he can show you how to put it back in. So we're doing it reverse, just go the opposite way.
Alright guys, so you want to grab your end cap here. You just slide it into these two notches, into the two right there. Just like this. And then you'll come with your,
It's a 5/30 seconds.
and you'll go in this little hole right here.
And try to get a good angle. It's kind of difficult on camera, but
It's right in here. You just go straight. You want to kind of angle it down first and then just go in straight like this. And then it should just be straight.
you'll see it, yeah. If you just look at the angle right there, you'll see it's a big silver hex. That's a 5/30 seconds. And then Leo, you can show them the last one.
Yeah.
So that's the one that holds that end cap on, right?
Yep. You just want to tighten this down all the way. Alright guys, so we're going to throw the door handle back in here. And you want to grab your plug right here first. And you have one tab right here, you just want to make sure it clicks in all the way. And you grab your other one here for the light and just click that one in all the way too. Make sure you get it all the way in the tab. And you try to get this little notch here. Right
It basically
here.
just hooks in, swings
Yeah.
in.
Just
Like
swings
if you were
in.
taking a door handle out, that's how every single one is.
You try to get this part in there as snug as you can. Then you grab your T15 here.
Those have to be a decently long T15. We had a few other ones, but they didn't work.
This time you'll just go.
There's a little rubber grommet. I know we're talking over each other a little bit, but there is a rubber grommet right here, which is nice because you could pop a flashlight. I'll get an angle for you after he tightens it. But this bolt that he's tightening, it catches itself, so you don't have to worry about losing it in the door. Like the hex head, that one would fall. This one doesn't. But again, this is a nice little pocket, so if you do drop something, you could pop a magnet tool down there. But yeah, while he tightens that, you get that. You can see right in. Is it that one? Yeah. Oh, there's. Oh, shoot. Yeah. So it's not. Oh, you can see it really far down there. That's a T15 in between that like illuminated green looking area. So yeah, just tighten that, and of course we did everything in reverse. But yeah, there you go. All right, so to take off the mirror, you're gonna have to take off the door panel. So this is how you do it. You're gonna have two little covers. This one is on the inside in there, and then this one is right there. Very straightforward door panel. If you were taking one off, very similar to a lot of other cars. You're gonna have 3 T20s that look like that, and one is located right in there, and then 2 are located right in there in the cover you took off. Hold it upside down, and then so 2 in there, 1 in the little handle, and lastly you're gonna have 10 mils right here. 1, 2. They're on the bottom of the door. They're not actually 10 millimeters. They look like this, like that. So you can see it's kind of angled like that. So when you twist it, it's originally gonna be like this, and you want to twist it like that to get it free. But you need a 10 mil wrench to actually access that because there's no straightforward shot. You kind of have to do it through this little slot in the door panel, but you'll basically just twist the 10 mil, just barely to align. And when you put it back in, you just want to make sure they're kind of aligned like that. That way it kind of slips back in. But once you have that taken off, last thing, you do need to pop the top rail off just by just these little pressure clips, so you can just use your hand and pop, pop, pop. Now you're gonna have this top piece, the lock, that you need to slide upwards, and that'll release it, and then obviously vice versa when you put it back together. And then Leo will show you where all the wires are.
So right here we have the door latch, obviously. You just want to click that in, and then here.
Real quick, the little notch for it, you need to get a flathead and pop that small little white piece down there, and then it'll swivel outwards when you take it apart.
And with this one, it also has a little clip right here. You just have to fold it up. That's how to lock it in. And then you want to clip this down when you unlock it. Just fold it back. But this one goes down here. It's kind of hard to show you, but I'm going to try.
Just go one by one and just show them where they're at, because they're
I'll just show them.
similar, yeah.
Alright. So this one goes down right here. This one is going to be for your window switches. And then this one will go right in here, kind of behind this one. Then this one is for your speaker. It'll go right in here by this other blue one. And then your white one right here will go down here. This is for your trunk, I believe.
Yeah, the trunk button. And that's it, right? Yep. Yeah, and then again, that thing you just pop straight up and the door panel's off. Okay, so like I said before, you do need a door panel off to take the mirror off. So if you're skipping around the video, go ahead and zip back there if you don't already have the door panel off. But you're gonna have 3 T30s back here. This little panel is gonna be hooked up top. So you can see it kind of hooks right there. To remove it, you just pop it upwards and then it'll expose 3 spots right there. 1, 2, 3. Those are T30s. So like that. 3 of those. When you remove them, you probably want someone holding it from the other side, just be careful, but you'll have 1 wiring harness right there. That looks like that. And you can remove that either before or after, it doesn't matter. Then the mirror's off. All right, I'll show you how to take off some of this trim real quick. These little fender vents, super easy. You just pop a pry tool in between. There's little 3 little plastic kind of clamps kind of holding it on. Pop it from the inside and then it'll just slide out, pretty simple. This one right here, I start from the top and just wedge it in between. You want to go in between the rubber, but just pop it and there'll be, I think, 5 tabs across the entire thing. Once again, don't just pull from one end, you want to work it. And then when you get to this end, you'll have a little piece, I don't know what to call that, but you basically just need to get that off the little trim. That'll be the last thing connected to it. Disconnect that and then you're completely done with that.